The invitation was printed on thick cotton paper, gold foil catching the light as I turned it over in my hands. Maxwell District Winter Gala, celebrating Chicago's premier art quarter. Below that, in elegant script, hosted by JM Holdings. My father's voice echoed in my memory. Art won't pay the bills, Rachel. Time to grow up. That was 8 years ago, the night he cut me off for choosing art school over law school. Now I sat in my private office above the city's most exclusive gallery, watching the RSVPs roll in for an event none of them knew I was hosting. Ms. Morgan, my assistant Liam appeared in the doorway. The final guest list is ready for your approval. I smiled, scanning the names. All of Chicago's elite would be there, including my entire family. The Morgans, pillars of the legal community, about to learn that the daughter they'd dismissed as a dreamer now owned the city's most valuable arts district. Perfect. I handed the list back. And the reveal arrangements? All set. When you give the signal, the new district signage will be unveiled. JM Holdings will be announced as Julia Morgan Arts Group. He paused. Are you sure about this? I touched the small sketchbook I always kept on my desk, the same one my father had called a waste of time. Absolutely sure. The Maxwell District hadn't always been Chicago's art hub. When I first spotted its potential, it was just a collection of worn-down warehouses and forgotten spaces. But I saw something else, soaring ceilings, natural light, and possibility. I'd used my art school connections and the small inheritance from my grandmother to buy my first building. Converted it into studios, then a gallery. Used the profits to buy the next building and the next. Each purchase carefully masked through shell companies and holding firms. Now, 8 years later, JM Holdings owned 30 galleries, 15 artist residency spaces, and the most coveted arts district in the Midwest. All while my family thought I was struggling to find myself, with a small painting studio in Wicker Park. My phone buzzed, my sister Catherine. Please tell me you're coming to the gala, she said without preamble. Dad's firm is sponsoring a new wing at the Morgan Gallery. Ah yes, the Morgan Gallery. My latest acquisition, purchased through a subsidiary last month. They hadn't even realized the ownership had changed. I'll be there, I promised, enjoying the irony. Good. We're something appropriate this time. The Maxwell District is very exclusive. We can't have you showing up in paint-splattered jeans. I looked down at my Armani suit, then out at the district I'd built from nothing. Don't worry. I know exactly what to wear. The day of the gala arrived crisp and clear. December sunlight filtered through the massive windows of my penthouse apartment. Another investment my family didn't know about. I chose my outfit carefully. A black Alexander McQueen gown, subtle enough to be elegant, bold enough to command attention. The press is already gathering, Liam reported as my car pulled up to the Morgan Gallery. Everyone's curious about JM Holdings finally going public. Let them wonder for a few more hours. I stepped out into the winter evening, pausing to admire the district I'd created. Every storefront gleamed. Every window displayed world-class art. My vision, made real in brick and glass and light. Inside, the gallery hummed with Chicago's elite. I spotted my father immediately, holding court near a Rothko we'd acquired last month. Catherine beside him, dripping in diamonds and self-importance. My mother, elegant as always, air-kissing her way through the crowd. Rachel. Catherine's voice carried across the marble floor. You actually came. Her surprise was barely masked by social polish. Wouldn't miss it, I smiled, accepting her air kiss. Beautiful event. Isn't it? Though I hear the owner's selling. Some mysterious holding company bought the whole district. She lowered her voice. Speaking of which, have you considered that legal assistant position Dad mentioned? It's never too late to start a real career. Before I could respond, my father appeared. Rachel, glad you could make it. His tone suggested the opposite. Though you might have dressed more formally. This isn't one of your student exhibitions. I smoothed my McQueen gown, worth more than his monthly partner draw. I think I'll manage, Dad. Did you see the new wing we're sponsoring? He gestured proudly. Morgan and Associates' contribution to the arts. This is how you make a real impact, not with. He waved vaguely at me. Watercolors and dreams. I checked my phone. Almost time. Actually, Dad, I'd love to discuss impact. Should we gather the family? There's something you all should see. He frowned, but Catherine was already waving over our mother and various aunts and uncles. The Morgan clan, assembled in their finery, ready to witness what they thought would be their crowning achievement in the art world. Ladies and gentlemen, A voice rang out across the gallery. Right on cue. Please join us in the main hall for a special announcement from JM Holdings. The crowd began to move, my family swept along with them. I held back, watching them position themselves front and center, eager to be seen at the district's most exclusive event. Who is this JM person anyway? I heard my mother whisper. Catherine, surely you must know? Catherine shrugged. Some investor from New York, I heard. Very private. Well, they clearly understand value, my father added. Unlike some people who waste their talent on street art and galleries that never turn a profit. I smiled, thinking of the profit margins carefully hidden in my holding company's books. The international acquisitions, the artist development programs, the empire I'd built while they were busy doubting me. Ladies and gentlemen, the announcer began as the crowd settled. For years, JM Holdings has worked quietly to transform the Maxwell District into Chicago's premier arts destination. Tonight, we finally reveal the visionary behind this transformation. I stepped forward, my heels clicking against marble as the spotlight found me. Time to show my family exactly what art could pay for. The spotlight felt warm on my skin as I took the podium, but not as warm as the shock spreading across my family's faces. Catherine's champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. My father's practiced smile cracked like old varnish. Good evening, I began, my voice carrying across the now silent gallery. I'm Julia Rachel Morgan, founder and CEO of JM Holdings, now officially the Julia Morgan Arts Group. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones appeared, capturing the moment Chicago's biggest art world mystery unraveled. For 8 years, we've worked to transform the Maxwell District into something unprecedented. Not just a collection of galleries, but an ecosystem where art and commerce thrive together. I smiled directly at my father. Where dreams pay very substantial bills. The presentation screens behind me lit up with our numbers, visitor statistics, sales figures, property values. 8 years of success translated into charts and graphs my financially minded family couldn't dismiss. The Morgan Gallery, I continued, which some of you may know as my family's latest charitable venture, has actually been part of our portfolio for the past month. And tonight, we're announcing its transformation into the Morgan Center for Emerging Artists. My father stood abruptly. Rachel, what is this? This, Dad, is what happens when you invest in art instead of mocking it. I nodded to Liam, and new images filled the screens. Our latest acquisition includes 3 international galleries and a revolutionary digital art platform. The Maxwell District is going global. Catherine found her voice first. But, you're just a painter. You live in that tiny studio in Wicker Park. Actually, I gestured around us. I live in the penthouse upstairs. That studio? It's where I go to create. This building? It's where I go to run my empire. The crowd was buzzing now, Chicago's elite recalibrating their understanding of power. The artist they'd dismissed was now their landlord, their business partner, their superior in the world they valued most, commerce. Ms. Morgan, a reporter called out. Your family's law firm is listed as sponsoring the new gallery wing. Did they know about your involvement? I met my father's stunned gaze. The Morgan & Associates sponsorship was declined last week. Instead, the wing will be funded directly by our organization, dedicated to supporting artists who've been told their dreams aren't practical enough. Rachel, my mother's voice shook as she approached the podium. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? I asked quietly. Or would you have dismissed it as another one of my impractical dreams? The silence was answer enough. Now, I turned back to the crowd. Please join us in the East Wing for the unveiling of our winter collection. And yes, I added with a slight smile, some of the pieces are my own work. Apparently, those watercolors and dreams turned out to be quite valuable. The next hour was a blur of congratulations and business cards, reporters' questions and photographers' flashes. Chicago's art world finally had a face to put to their mysterious benefactor, and they were hungry for the story. Through it all, my family huddled near the Rothko, their world visibly realigning. Finally, my father approached, his legal persona stripped away by shock. The whole district? He asked hoarsely. You own all of it? Every building, every gallery, every studio space. I led him to the window overlooking Maxwell Street. See that construction site? That's our new International Arts Center. The one Catherine called a waste of prime real estate last month. He stared out at his city, now partly his daughter's city. How did you afford all this? That first gallery you mocked? It turned a profit in 6 months. I reinvested everything, lived modestly, built carefully. I turned to face him. Turns out art can pay quite a few bills when you understand both the creative and business sides. And your paintings? I led him to a private viewing room where my latest series hung. Large-scale abstracts that had sold before they were finished, each one worth more than a year's partner salary at his firm. Jesus, he whispered, checking the price list. Rachel, don't apologize. I cut him off. Just look around. Really look. This is what you dismissed. This is what you called a waste of potential. Catherine appeared in the doorway, her perfect poise cracked. The Morgan Center for Emerging Artists. That's not just a name, is it? You're really running it. We'll provide studio space, mentorship, and business training to 50 artists annually. I handed her a prospectus. Feel free to tell them all how impractical their dreams are. The family gathering that followed in my penthouse office was awkward but necessary. My mother cried, examining the photos of openings and acquisitions she'd missed. Catherine kept touching things: my desk, my awards, my view, as if confirming their reality. All those times we invited you to galas, she said wonderingly. Offered to help you network. I own most of those venues, I confirmed. The networking was quite successful, just not in the way you imagined. My father stood by my private gallery wall, studying each piece. These are all yours? Those 3 sold last week to the Modern Wing at the Art Institute. I joined him. The center one is called Practical Dreams, inspired by a certain conversation about law school. He flinched. Rachel, what I said then. Changed my life, I finished. Just not the way you intended. You taught me that success is the best revenge, but art taught me that revenge isn't nearly as satisfying as vindication. The transformation of the Maxwell district continued, now accelerated by public recognition. My family adapted, as privilege often does, suddenly proud of their artistic daughter and her unique vision. I kept my Wicker Park studio, though now it occupied the entire building. Some days I still went there to paint, remembering the girl who'd believed in art's value when no one else did. The Morgan Center for Emerging Artists opened in spring, its first class including several young creators who'd been told their dreams were worthless. I made sure their families were invited to every exhibition. You could have revealed yourself years ago, Liam remarked one evening as we reviewed acquisition proposals. Why wait? I picked up my old sketchbook, the one my father had dismissed, now displayed in a custom case on my desk. Because success isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about building something so undeniable that they have to prove themselves wrong. The Maxwell district continued to grow, each new gallery and studio space a testament to art's power to transform not just spaces, but perceptions. My family's law firm eventually moved their offices to one of my buildings, their rent supporting the very dreams they'd once dismissed. Sometimes at night, I walk through my galleries after closing. Each space filled with light and possibility, each wall holding someone's dream made manifest. And I remember what my father never understood, that art's true value isn't just in what it can pay for. It's in what it can build. My mother still occasionally suggests I diversify into more practical investments. I just smile and show her the latest acquisition reports. Catherine has started collecting art, though she still can't quite believe her little sister controls half of Chicago's gallery scene. And my father? He finally hung one of my paintings in his office. Not because of its value, though that's considerable, but because he finally learned to see what I'd known all along. That dreams properly nurtured can build empires. That art isn't just about beauty. It's about vision, power, and the courage to believe in both. And sometimes, the greatest masterpiece isn't what hangs on the wall. It's what you build when everyone tells you you can't. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.